So boom, YouTube. I got for you guys a very fun and strong weapon, the Stropha. Now this is one of the gun blades, and I believe it's probably the hardest hitting because when I tell you I'm hitting like 86 million, 30 million, 32, like it's really insane. Now there's two different ways you can go about building this weapon, and we're gonna go off one of my favorites, and there's another way you can too. So how I'm building this weapon, right, is I'm going more for heavy attacks, critical, like melee duplicates. You know what I'm saying? Now there's another way you can build it with melee influence, which is really good. That's good for crowd control, and it just melts a whole bunch of enemies all around. But with this build, you can also do that to a lower degree, but still hit a lot harder, right? So we're going to be using, like I said, melee duplicates to double that hit, for that attack to hit twice. So basically we're going to be hitting, like, let's say a mil maybe twice, which is pretty cool. So going into the mods, right, we're using bullet dance. Now high noon is really good for melee influence, but bullet dance is just good for just that one boom, you know, hit. And we're going to be using discipline merit so we can spam on heavy attack without using galvanized or corrupt charge, or what's the other one, galvanized reflex. Yes, so we're going to be using prime pressure point for 150% damage, galvanized steel, if you have it max, it's going to be like what, 110 critical chance with like critical damage that stacks up to 4 times. We're going to be using frost, which is gives a 60% code, and that status, which is good. Again, for our status, we're going to be using electricity and blast. And the reason why I got like electricity, because of this really good ribbon right here. It gives a 70% critical damage times that by 2 for heavy attacks, with 37.2% electricity and 37.2% critical damage. Now that's really good. Organ shatter for more critical damage. Then this right here is optional. I love killing blow because this just gives us more heavy attack damage, goes up to 9,000, right? And then blood rush, just to give us extra more critical chance, so we can be hitting those 30 millions, 40 millions type range, right? So yeah, keep that in mind. Like I said, this isn't a melee influence. There's a lot of way you can build this weapon because it's already strong. Oh, just to make sure, I am using Arcane Fury and Arcane Strike. These are important to have, just to let you guys know. And then if you want to, I'm using secondary dexterity, and I don't think I'm using it for my primary, but if you want to, you can. It's just really optional. More damage is more damage. Again, this is no buffs. I am using no buffs. You guys can see at the top right, no buffs. I'm not buffing my weapon. If you see me use Eclipse, it's because Eclipse has a passive mode like that. It gives me 75 damage reductions for the enemies. So keep that in mind, because I want to show you guys what the weapon can do by itself without buffs. So just when you buff it, you know you're hitting insanely high, right? This is just the base damage of what it can do at max, right? Once you stack that up, like I said, it can work as an AoE because of the blast. It hits multiple targets. See, now we're starting to hit a little harder. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, look at that. 4 million there. So yeah, that's really it and how it goes. Like I said, I'm when you in game, I end up creating like crazy numbers. And like I said, with the blast, it does work as an AoE at times. But if you want to do more AoE damage, melee influence is for you. But if you want to see big numbers with no buffs other than your arcanes, then I'm telling you, this is the build to go. So let's get into that gameplay.